start. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Thursday, July 11th of 2024, and we are convening a session of the Philadelphia Tax Review Board. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the Executive Director, and it is my responsibility to let everyone know to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy, and by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will be posted on the Tax Review Board's website. At this time, I just want to introduce our board members: Paula Weiss, Nancy Cameron-Diener, George O'Connor, and George Matthews. John O'Connor and George Matthews. And I'm going to give control of the board to our chair, Paula Weiss. Paula.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Tax Review Board hearings for July 11th, 2024 are now in session. We're going to start with some administrative matters before we move into our hearings. So for cases number 2 and 3, Spruce Builders LLC, 1320 and 22 South Corley Street. Last 4 digits of the dockets, 9662 and 9659. These matters have been continued. Cases number 4 and 7, Thelma and Loudon Lazo, 2250 North Front Street. Last 4 digits of the docket, G08J and 9203. These matters have also been continued. We are going to start today with case number 6, which is 1745 North 26th Street. Last 4 digits of the docket, 9086. This matter was heard previously by the board, and we have a decision to issue today. And I believe the petitioner is in our hearing room. Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome to the Tax Review Board. Could you please state your name for the record?
Yeah, Rehab Sumrain.
Ms. from Sumrain, welcome. We did hear your case previously, and the decision of the board is as follows. It's the finding of the board that it was not divested of jurisdiction by the filing of the lien, as the lien was admittedly an imperfect lien. The city's admitted errors provided no recourse to the petitioner, who made many attempts to be a responsive property owner. So therefore, after reviewing all of the evidence and provided by both the petitioner and the city, it is the decision of the Tax Review Board to grant this petition and abate the bill under appeal. Therefore, Ms. Sumrain, you will get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with that decision. It is appealable by either party to the Court of Common Pleas. That information will be in that letter. I need concurrence from my fellow board members for this decision. John
O'Connor, I concur.
George?
Nancy Cameron-Diener, I concur.
Nancy and George?
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. That concludes this matter unless either party has a specific question.
Yeah, I do. There is there is multiple appeals on the same, property for the same issue, basically. It just has different numbers.
In front of this board?
No, they billed me, L&I billed me separate, under separate cases for the same matter.
The only petition is the demolition that occurred on 10/17/2022.
So any bill related to that demolition.
So they all fall under this case number?
The city would like to note.
Go ahead, Mr. Cohen.
City would like to note for the record that there actually have been no bills issued to Ms. Sumrain. I believe the city mentioned that at the May hearing, but I would like to reiterate it for the record today.
Yes, thank you. But there are multiple bills for work done at this property. Is that correct?
Right.
There may be. I think
okay.
this demolition bill was the only issue before the board.
Yes,
That is correct.
So, Mr. Sumrain, we can only make a decision on the bill that was specifically attached to this petition.
Yeah, they were 4. Basically, 4 case numbers under this petition.
Hold on.
All I have here is the, hold on.
Do you have them with you, Ms. Sumrain?
On my phone, yes.
If the board if we could sideline this or have a discussion with the petitioner outside of this hearing so that we could move on to other matters. If it doesn't pertain to this particular decision, it's probably not something that should go on this record.
Well, we understand that, but I just want to make sure that our decision is clear as to what it's actually
Yeah,
covering.
it's for the demolition.
So that's the only, if that was the only bill that we addressed at the hearing, then that is the only bill that is the subject of this decision. Mr. Cohen, that's what I wanted to just be clear.
Thank you.
So when I submitted the appeal, I attached
That-
it with 4 different case numbers.
But the petition only has one bill on it. There was one petition with multiple bills, but if there was something else, then I can go look for you.
Yeah, because I have the copies of the petition.
All right, well, that'll have
the
to,
appeal.
that will have to take place in the office, not as part of the hearing at
Correct.
this.
All right,
Okay?
if you just
So why don't you
step out, I'll help you, okay?
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
step out.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna put in cases 1 and 5.
All right, so we're gonna move on to cases 1 and 5. 2611 North Franklin Street, petitioner named Mario Lopez, last 4 digits of the docket 9082 and 9081.
You wanna sit here? Voice nice and loud, okay? Thank you, of course.
Okay, I think we're ready to begin. Good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, the Chair of the Tax Review Board. Could you, each of you, please state your names for the record?
Good afternoon. My name is Mario Lopez.
And who do you?
My name is Wanda Cologne.
Okay. Are each of you prepared to testify in this matter today?
Yes,
Okay, would you each, do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
yes.
You do.
Thank you. All right, we're going to turn to the city for a minute, city's representative, so that we can get the dollar amounts in controversy and the periods as well, and any opening comments from the city's attorney. And then we'll
Thank
come
you.
back to you for you to let us know why it is that you're here, what you're looking for from this board. Mr. Cohen.
Thank you. Jeffrey Cohen for the city of Philadelphia in this matter. Just as an opening remark, none of these bills have been issued to Mr. Lopez. Mr. Lopez purchased this property after the demolition had been completed and the bills had been issued. That said, the bills were issued to 2 previous owners ago, and the city is in the process of correcting that. But the owner at the time that this demolition occurred and the owner to whom the notices of violation were sent was Barahona Investment LLC. Mr. Lopez purchased the property from Barahona about several months to a year after the demolition. So because the bills were not issued to, and because Mr. Lopez is not personally liable for these amounts, there is essentially nothing for the board to do here today.
So you just said that the city's in the process of correcting something? What is it that
Yes.
is in the process of
So
correcting?
the bills were actually issued due to an error with the Office of Property Assessments registration. The bills were issued to Raul and Milagros Figueroa. The bills should have been issued, and the city will correct this issue and issue the bills properly to Barahona Investment LLC. Essentially, Barahona Investment LLC is also mentioned in Mr. Lopez's petition as the owner that did not inform him of the city's demolition at the time. I believe the subtext being Barahona Investment scammed Mr. Lopez, sold him a property that was either about to be demolished or had already been demolished without properly informing him of this demolition. And Mr. Lopez does potentially have a warranty claim against Barahona Investment, but that's not the matter before this board. This board doesn't get involved in warranty disputes arising through a deed.
So gonna ask a question and now I don't know what it was.
Can you just tell me when? Sorry,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to know if you could just clarify for the board when the demolition happened and when record of the petitioner purchasing the property, like those two dates.
Yes. The demolition started around May 10th, 2022. That's when the demolition permit was issued. The demolition was completed by June 10th of 2022. The property was purchased January 30th, 2023. Oh, sorry, the recording of the property deed was January 30th of 2023. The property deed itself was backdated to August 1st of 2022. Either of those dates being after the completion of the demolition.
And could you also add, when was the lien recorded?
I don't believe I have the lien recording date. I have the bill issuance dates, but those, again, those bills were issued to Raul and Milagros Figueroa, who were the previous owners to Barahona Investment.
Okay, but it might be pertinent to know when the lien was actually recorded.
Well, I would think that the recording date of the lien might be important to the Court of Common Pleas if there's a Sere Facias action. But regardless, the completion of the demolition on June 10th is the date by which the liens are created by law under the Municipal Claims and Tax Liens Act. And that date would be June 10th of 2022.
That essentially is helpful. Okay, so let me go back then, Mr. Lopez. The city is saying is that you purchased this property well after the demolition had occurred and that the city had placed a lien on the property. So why don't you explain to us the circumstances surrounding your purchase, I guess? What you know.
I actually am one of the I'm a person who takes care of all of Mr. Mario Lopez's properties. And I just wanted to, have your permission to speak on his behalf with his authorization as well.
Okay, Mr. Lopez, is that
Yes,
helpful to you?
yes.
And your question once more, Ms. Paula?
At the time of purchase, this property, it sounds like was already demolished.
That is correct.
And therefore the city had already placed a lien on the property for the costs of this demolition. So I guess my question is, what did you know when you purchased this property?
So it was a property that was just damaged due to fire. We had no recollection that this property was going to be demolished. And he just, since he has a house that's right next door, he thought it would be a really good investment for him to acquire. And that's why we're here today, because like I said, we feel like we were schemed from Bahama Investments.
Well, okay, so then what you're saying is very pertinent because it then appears that your recourse is against them and not the city.
Right, but the bills and all the collections are still coming up in Mr. Mario Lopez's name, stopping his commercial activity license and a lot of other things that he has going forward because the property is now in his name with that. And he's just an innocent investor who didn't accumulate any debt with the IRS or LNI or, anything of such, and trying to keep his business going.
Do you have bills for this property demolition in his name?
There are no demolition bills in his name at all whatsoever. When this was brought to our attention, we were contacted by Limebark Associates with just a letter saying that they're trying to collect this debt.
So I just want to clarify the dates. The city's dates, according to Mr. Cohen, is that by June 10th of 2022, this property was demolished. The demolition was complete. And that Mr. Lopez purchased on or about August 31st of 2020.
I thought it was August 1st, Madam
August
Chair.
1st?
The date on the deed is August 1st.
First.
The reason why I use the recording date is because if it hasn't been recorded, then the city would not know, and the Office of Property Assessment would not know to update the registration records with the new owner.
Yes, thank you. I guess my point though is the purchase is post demolition either way.
That's correct.
Okay, So Mr. Lopez must have known that the property was not in terrible condition any longer because it was gone.
Well, if
Exactly.
Mr. Lopez, as Ms. Cologne just said, if he lived on that block, then he would have seen it just walking out of his door or walking by. You know, if he happened to walk by that day and see a demolition crew clearly working to take down the building, that might have provided notice of what was going on prior to his
That's
purchase.
not what she said. She said he owns a property on the block. She didn't say he
Oh,
lived there.
okay.
So if you could clarify for us,
Is
But-
it, that's correct. Is it has a house next door, meaning he owns an investment property, or he lives next door?
It's an investment property.
Okay.
So did you look at the property in question before you purchased it?
That was in good condition. I just needed to put a few dollars in and I could have got it rented out. When we started the process of talking to the guy, he told me that I can buy it as it is and for the certain amount he gave me. And it owed, all I knew that it owed it a little bit of water and a little bit of taxes.
By the guy, do you mean Libio Matos,
Yes,
who is a member? I'm not sure if he's a managing member, but he is a member of Barahona Investment LLC.
And did you have a title search during this purchase process?
There was no title search.
I'm not sure how much further the board wants to go on this. Do we need to have a conversation?
I think so. I think we should.
Okay,
Well, if the city does need to put on evidence of record, Supervisor Thomas Rubikowski of LNI is actually just finishing up with Board of Building Standards hearings at the moment. He should be joining us in the next few minutes.
okay, that's fine. I'm not sure that we'll need him, but that's
Thank
good
you.
to know. All right, we're gonna move to a separate room for the board to discuss some of this.
We'll be
Thank
right back.
thank you. Shall we step out?
No, 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 stay right there, please.
Okay.
Stay right there.
When we started talking to him, they never told us that we were not the house.
And I wish I would have brought my paperwork because I was going to make sure that they.
Correct. I would have been cheaper for me to pay the ammunition.
You never incurred any debt with me, with other nine. You know,
Ammunition, I could have fixed the whole house.
yeah, but this is what I'm glad that they're hearing your understanding. Sure, we need to have to worry about it. Is that they have to do some corrections to be able to get the bill out to the correct person, which is Livio Matos, president of Barahona Investment.
And you gotta tell me, we call her plenty of times and I'm the head mortgage.
Welcome, Supervisor Rubikowski. The city has already essentially made some opening argument. Just to catch you up to speed. The board is currently in a session discussing, and we'll see where the case is going to proceed from there. But thank you for joining, Supervisor.
Thank you.
But, the city.
Sorry about that, Mr. Cohen. I don't,
No, that's all right.
it's been a
I
week.
probably should have thought if someone is inviting me to join a breakout room and the board has just left to join a breakout room,
To go.
I apologize.
I know how you got there. I'm sorry. No, it's my fault.
No, it's probably just a slip of the mouse and I just, without thinking, click join.
Yeah. They should be coming back shortly.
Excellent.
Okay. Just waiting for Paula to come back on the screen. She's right there.
I know. Wait a minute. Somehow when I come back, I get frozen out for a minute. Okay, I'm back. We got everybody?
Yes.
Yes, Nancy does she have two? She can't hear.
She has to get back on her phone.
All right, well, okay. Tax Review Board is back in session. Mr. Lopez, Ms. Cologne, we did discuss the matter. We understand from both Mr. Cohen and from you what your circumstance is. However, it's our decision at this point that we really have no jurisdiction over this matter. This property was already demolished prior to your purchase. The city has liens, and you yourself admitted that this was a problem between you and the prior owner. No title search was done. Therefore, it's our decision at this point that based on a lack of jurisdiction, we will deny this petition. It appears that any recourse may be, if you have any, may be with the prior owner. You will get, can I have concurrence from my fellow board members?
John O'Connor, I concur.
George
George?
Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur, and I'm not sure we're going to hear from Nancy, but that's a quorum. You'll get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with that decision. You do have the right of appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. That information will be in that letter. But at this point, I don't believe that there's anything further that we can do for this matter. So thank you for coming in and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the board. And thank you Supervisor Rybakowski for joining us.
Yes.
Although I don't have anything for you to do, thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for coming, Tom. I think that is everything on our agenda for today. Yes?
Yep.
All right. So the hearings are concluded. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. Stay cool.
Yes.
Thank you
All right,
kindly.
have a
Take
good
care,
weekend,
everyone.
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Take care, Jeffrey.